Hello. How's it going, everybody? I am so excited to be here. Let me know if there's any challenges with my headset. I got my little mic in here to hopefully help with the echo. I am Hilary Raven Porter. I am a multi-dimensional healer and a starseed oracle. So I combine the traditional with the esoteric to help shift you into that space that you feel the most perfect, that space that you feel the most alive. The I am seed of you is ignited. Yeah, and I am here at the Bickwest Community Center today. I'm so excited for this, sharing how you can do acupuncture at home. So one of the modalities I practice is acupuncture, amongst many others. And you don't need needles. So please don't go to your cupboard. Do not get out your sewing needles. Do not get out your push pins. None of that. We're not going to do any of that. But you can activate healing in yourself and shifts in your energetic body yourself at home with multiple different tools that you have. Okay? So we're going to do a couple of different things. We're going to talk a little bit about what is acupuncture. We're also going to talk about what it's good for. We're going to talk about the different types, because there's not just one type. There's not just what you may know of as traditional Chinese medicine acupuncture, or my other favorite is, I've totally been to acupuncture with my physio, and it hurt, right? That's another one. It's totally a type of acupuncture. Then we have the different ways that you can stimulate the points, and then we're going to go through some points. We're going to go through points to talk about moving your chi, because we know the stagnation can settle in as we're at home. We're also going to talk about heart points to help with the fear and the different emotions that can come up. And we're going to talk some immunity points as well. So I also invite you, while we're doing this, don't be shy. If you have any questions, please ask away. I have Julie here off to the side. She's helping me out just in case I miss anything, which is awesome. It's like a total plus. I don't usually have somebody help me out. So I love it. So good. Can you tell I'm excited? Okay, so have you ever been to acupuncture? So I'd love to hear if you've been to acupuncture, what was that experience for you? If you feel called to share how it helped you, I'd absolutely love to hear that. Because everybody has a different experience. Some people are like, nope, no acupuncture for me. Other people are like, gosh, they swear by it, right? That's the only thing they go to. And the thing is that you have to remember is it's like any other modality. Your practitioner makes a difference, right? You could go to a massage therapist and you're like, no, I don't like massage therapy. But most people don't do that. They're just like, no, I'm just going to try another massage therapist. But I hear it all the time with acupuncture. They're like, no, I don't like acupuncture. I'm like, how many times have you done that? Like once. I was like, what was the practitioner like? Did you jive with the practitioner? Because if you don't, that's totally going to affect how it feels for you, right? Because there's so many different ways to practice. Same thing with massage. Deep versus light versus shiatsu versus the RMT, like so many different types. So same with acupuncture. So acupuncture, what is it good for, right? Some people, what do you think it's good for? Some people say it's only good for energetics. Other people say it's only good for physical. I'm going to tell you, it's good for it all. It's good from the mental, the emotional, the physical, the spiritual. It's good for the whole shebang, okay? And basically what it's doing is it's going in, so little tiny thin needles. If you're squeamish of needles, I ask you to look away now. I have a needle here. So it's insertion of these really, really thin needles. Myself in my practice, I use the thinnest needles I can get. So we're talking smaller than the half of the width of your hair on your head. How crazy, right? Like tiny, tiny, tiny. Let's take a look at those first. Can you see that? Look. Oh, you can't. I'm so pale, you can't see it against me. Here, let's try that. Can you see that? That's how thin it is. And this is how malleable it is. Like it's so flexible, right? And yeah, like so tiny, you barely even feel it. So we take these needles and we put them in different points of your body. And this affects the meridians. This affects the energetic currents within your body. So you might have seen those crazy awesome posters of like the traditional Chinese medicine, and they've got all these lines on them all over the place. And you're just like, what is going on? And there are all these like Chinese characters around them. Those are the meridian lines. And those affect changes in your body, okay? In traditional Chinese medicine, there's 12 major meridians, but there's also other aspects. So there's the meridians, but then there's like the subcutaneous, which is really good for treating like the physical aspects, right? And you could, for example, you've probably, if you've had acupuncture, you've been like, why are you putting a needle in my finger when I have a headache? Well, because the meridian will travel up and affect that part of the body. The subcutaneous region affects that part of the body, right? So acupuncture has been around for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So the first, what did they say? It was first recorded or found to be recorded 100 years BCE. But 6,000 years BCE, they found evidence of stones, pieces of wood, all shaved down super, super thin. Can you imagine? Oh my goodness. I just showed you the needle, how thin it is now. Can you imagine being like, yeah, totally put that in me, and it's just like a piece of stone that's been chiseled down as thin as they could get. Not you at all. So what we talked about, it was good for. It's good for physical. So it's good for the pain. So if you have headaches, I just spoke to somebody this morning about tendinitis, right? If you have lower back pain, if you have digestive upset, it's good for the mental aspect. So if you have monkey mind, you know, when you go to bed and you just can't stop thinking of everything, and it's just like, I need to do this, I need to do that, monkey mind, right? Rumination, anxiety, depression, it's really good for that. Spiritual. Are you in the moment of awakening? If you're in this moment of awakening in your ascension, meditation, so good for meditation. Opening up your heart center so that you can get out of that fear aspect, so amazing for that, okay? So we got some types. TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, is probably the type that you're most familiar with. Then there is the, I can't remember what it's called, dry needle technique, I think. I think I put it out of my brain because it just sounds painful, and I personally can never get that done. But it's where they, intramuscular release, where they actually put the needle in, and it's usually a dry needle. So most needles are coated, but they use a dry needle, and they go into the trigger point to release that trigger point, right? And it can feel really good when they release a trigger point, but not so much before that. So we have traditional Chinese medicine. It works on the different meridians that we talked about. We have 5 elements. So there's considered 5 elements in traditional Chinese medicine, and they affect different elements. So they'll influence water to affect wood, right? So those kinds of things. Then we have Japanese acupuncture, which is shallower and narrower needles, smaller needles, and they're put in very, very shallow. And so you're not having to worry about that overstimulation that can happen. And then we have acupressure, which we're going to talk about today. And then we have the NADA protocol. So the NADA protocol is ear points that we use to help you with anxiety, stress, depression, and also addiction. That's the specifics for that. Then we have esoteric acupuncture, which is the type of acupuncture that I practice. So esoteric acupuncture is the type of acupuncture that is accessed through traditional Chinese medicine points, but they're laid in a sacred geometry grid, which increases that power, right? So this is the main type, like I said, that I practice. It's from Mikyu Sankey. He combines several energy systems. So he looks at Ayurvedic, he looked at the Tree of Life in the Kabbalah, he looked at the TCM, he looked at sacred geometry, he looked at all of those things and put them together in different patterns to affect change within your body. And the sacred geometry is needled in a specific pattern. And what I love about this acupuncture is it can actually be activated at a distance, which blows my mind every single time. But you can activate energetic needles being placed into the body of somebody at a distance. So you know Reiki, same, kind of like that, right? So we're activating where you are from where I am. And it helps you access these higher consciousness planes and the energetics out here to come in for where you are now to shift, because you're energy. This is what it is. We're all energy. It helps by accessing the physical ailments that began as a disharmony. So you end up, you can feel it coming in. Sometimes it's a little bit off, but nothing comes up on lab work because it's out here and we can affect the change out there before it comes into here, right? Let's stop it before it happens. It's like preventative. Let's see here. Okay. You know what time it is? It's time to dive into how you can do this at home. So needles aren't the only way to activate, okay? So I have some tools here, and we're going to talk about them each that you can do at home. So one is a crystal. This is a quartz. We'll talk a little bit about why I selected quartz, but you could use, if you have rose quartz at home, if you have any other types of things at home, crystals, you can use them to activate. So this guy is clear quartz, right? And you could use him. So one of the main points that we have here, so this is Hagu, Li4. I'll try not to use the jargon. Large intestine 4. This one's really good if you have headaches and pain, just physical body pain. So you would take the point and you would place it right in there. You can also take it and just put it just above. You don't even have to be touching in, and just think about the energetic going in, right? There you go. So that's one way. The other way I'm gonna have to maybe think of different points to stimulate it, and I'll stimulate it on this one point. The other is your finger. Good old acupressure, right? Pushing right there. Can't get enough pressure and you actually want more, you'll actually know. So gauge all the points that we're going to talk about. I want you to gauge for yourself how much pressure you need. Because sometimes you'll just touch it and you're like, oh, that's sufficient. Other times you can like dig right in there. You don't know what this is. What's this? Chopstick. Okay, I said I was going to change points, but apparently I'm going back to the same point. So here we go. So you're just going to push in there, right? As deep as you need to. And you can actually do different widths. So that's the narrow point. You could use the more diffuse point, right? Okay. And how long are you going to acupressure yourself? How long are you going to stimulate these points? You're going to stimulate them until you are like, that's enough. You'll know. Listen to your body. It's all about your intuition. Okay. So this is an essence. This one that I've chosen for today is Somodase Sa. So Somodase Sa is heart, all about the heart. It's from Tamiana crystal healing, which is another modality that I practice. And this is the essence. So if you think of homeopathics, where they capture the energetics to create change within yourself, that's what this is. So what you would do, you could do this with a tincture. Do you have a tincture at home? And don't overthink it. Don't be like, okay, so I'm working on my headache, so I should use a bitter. So I should probably look at the dandelion root. Don't just, which one are you drawn to? Go from there. Okay. So you would take it. Yeah, I'm going back to the same point. Probably going to regret this later. And you just put the drop right on there. See a little bit there. And then you can let it sit there. You can also rub it into the spot. This bottle actually does quite a big drop. Right? And then you just feel the energetic. You can feel it stimulating it. It's energy. You're vibrational. Think of when you enter a room and you're just like, something feels odd in here. That's the energetic, right? So you can affect this change. People are like, oh, no, it has to be physical. You have to be able to feel it all. Not true. You can still affect the change. Then the other one, pressure, crystals, essences, tinctures, visualizations. So visualizations. You visualize the point that you want to stimulate. You close your eyes, and this is meditation that can happen. And you meditate into that point. Okay? You meditate into that point, and you just picture it, and you manipulate that point. You're like, okay, am I going to be doing it? Like, does it feel bright? Awesome. I want it to be brighter. Does it feel dark? Does it feel heavy? And then you physically shift that point. You're like, okay, it feels really dark and heavy right now. I'm going to change it to lighter and brighter. Beans and tape. That's one thing I didn't bring. But beans and tape. Get yourself a tiny bean, so like a little lentil or a mung bean, and you get yourself a piece of tape. Doesn't matter what kind of tape. I mean, honestly, it depends on what part of your body it's on. So if it's like a really hairy part of the body, just don't be using duct tape. Okay, I'm warning you now. But like medical tape is always good. Even the green painter's tape, and you put the seed on that piece of tape, and then you tape it over the points that we're going to talk about, whatever ones you're drawn to. Okay? And it's going to constantly stimulate. You leave that on there until you're done. There's actually these little tiny needles or acaria seeds. So another one that's actually really good is mustard seed. So you take the mustard seed because they're the perfect size. Plus it helps heat up the point and move the energy in that point because of the nature, the energetic nature of the mustard seed. And then we talked about distance work as well. You can have somebody else assist you with that through distance. Okay, quartz. I'm going to do a quick little rundown of quartz. Because one of the reasons I picked this is because quartz is everywhere. And we kind of give it the like, it's just quartz, not a big deal. Quartz is powerful. So it is the most powerful healing and energy amplifier because of the crystalline form. So the shape that it has inside and the way that it is made increases its power. Okay? It stores, releases, and regulates your energy. And it's going to become vibrationally aligned with you and help with your healing the more you use it and the more specific. So if you have one, like this one is the one that I use. I also brought this one because this is one I use a lot on myself and within my practice for stimulating the points. So it has the memory within it. It knows this is what I'm here for. And so it makes it more powerful when you use it. Holding it doubles your biomagnetic field. So that field around you that is interacting with other things, this is going to double that field, which is also a level of protection. Okay? It's a master healer. It's good for any condition. It also stimulates the immune system. kind of good right now, hey? And it can bring your body into a balance and alignment. It harmonizes all your chakras and aligns all your subtle bodies, which we talked about. Affecting change out here can affect the change that we feel physically. Right? Okay. Ready for some points? Okay, we're going to discuss these as singles. I'm going to tell you some single points. I do not recommend that you do them all at once. Don't be like, okay, I'm going to go get some seeds, I'm going to put them on tape, and I'm going to put I don't even know how many I have here. I think I have 8 all at once. I don't recommend that. Maximum 2 to 3 that you're drawn to at a time, okay? Because you don't want to overstimulate the body. Less is more. It's not always about feeling the biggest result, like that instant. It's not about, I always think of the whole like, it was so subtle, I don't think anything happened, but then you see these massive changes happening, right? It doesn't have to be this wham, bam, here you go. And so a couple at a time, because you also don't want to overstimulate your system. Okay, let's talk about calming and aligning for your heart. Okay. The first one we're going to talk about, some I'm going to just demonstrate on yourself, some I'm going to draw on the board there because it'll be pretty funny if I have to put my leg up on the table. And yeah, okay. So the first one is Ren 17. So this is Shanzong, which is also called the chest center. So this is one that's super easy to find. You literally are going to find the level of your nipples and you're going to touch the point right in between there. And you'll know the point, so it's kind of tender for me today, which makes sense. I mean, this has been a pretty intense week for a lot of people with the new shifts and everything that are coming about. So this is the pericardium mu. So the mu points, this is also the Hui meeting point of Qi. So the mu point is where everything gathers and collects. 4, so this is a yin organ, so pericardium, and the pericardium protects the heart. Pericardium is the part of the heart that, because if you get to the heart itself, it's called the emperor. So we want to have its protectors, and pericardium is one of those. So let's affect change here to calm the heart, to bring it back into center, and to settle into ourselves. We'll talk about Shen in a little bit, which is directly related to the heart there. So this is also the Hui meeting point of Qi. All the Qi in your body, Qi is energy, Qi is life, universal life force, comes and collects in that point right there. Okay, so by pressing on this point, which is often tender, you'll feel like a little hollow there. You're going to help regulate your energy levels within your body and also help your lungs. The lung is metal. Metal is grief. All of this tension, the band, that shortness of breath that can come when we're overworked, when we feel a little bit stressed out, this point helps all of that. I think you're going to know the next one. The next one is pericardium 6, which is Ningguan, which means inner paths. This is the one that you're going to know from traveling. So you know those wristbands that you have that are on cloth and they have a little tiny button on them and you're supposed to place them on your wrist and it helps you so that you're not getting nauseous while you're traveling? That's what this point is. This is what they're going for. So what you're going to do is your forearm, and you're going to take the point, you're going to find the midpoint from here to here. So the crease of your elbow to your wrist crease, you find the midpoint. And then you find the midpoint again. Okay? And then you go up like about a finger width towards your wrist. And that's where it is. And it's going to be right, you can't really see, but it's going to be right in between the tendons right there. And you just press on that guy. So this is the Luo connecting point of the pericardium. And what the Luo connecting point means is that it's connected directly to the heart. 2 points, the Luo connectors. Okay? This is going to help again to relax your chest. This is also going to help calm your spirit, which is the Shen that we talked about. So Shen, when you have monkey mind at night, Shen goes back into your heart and resides in your heart. So to calm the Shen and to calm your heart helps you settle your mind and regulate your sleep patterns as well. This is also going to help regulate your stomach. So what's the stomach? We're going to talk about a stomach point next as well. But the stomach is the way that we digest our reality. It's not just how we digest food. Yes, it's all about nourishment, which we want. We want to make sure we're digesting our food properly because when we're undernourished, we don't feel right. We are tired. We can't think clearly. We can't make the best decisions for ourselves. So by regulating our stomach as well with this point and making sure it feels at ease, So remember, we're affecting the heart and the stomach at this point. Too fabulous. How many times have we heard the way to the heart is through the stomach? Maybe that was from Chinese medicine, I'm not sure. But this is a way for you to digest your reality as well. How many times have you said, I'm just gonna sit on it. I'm gonna go and digest this a little bit when we're talking about something. We use these words for a reason because this is our reality. Okay, Ren 12. Here we go. We're going to talk about, this is a stomach point, and it's for digesting your outer and your inner world. Okay, so this is the Hui meeting point of the Fu. So the Fu are all the hollow organs. They're all the yang organs in Chinese medicine. Okay, so these are all the ones that store and release. Okay, so gallbladder, stomach. Okay. This one, I love this one. And if you're pregnant, I highly suggest this one. Just saying. So you're going to find your belly button. I'm going to actually get up. I'm going to unplug this. We're going to see what happens. Let me know. But you should still be able to hear me. Hopefully. So this is the stomach moon point. So this is a point from the sternocostal angle to your belly button, and it's right in the middle. So let's see here. We're going to see how good I can draw today. Okay. So you got your belly button, and then you have this. This is your rib cage, and you have this little point right here. So we're going to find the point that's right in the middle, right there. Okay? So this is the sternocostal angle. This is your belly button, and there it is. So literally, it's right there. And you'll feel this like little hollow there. And the reason why I say it's so good for if you're pregnant or if you're nauseous, this helps with morning sickness. So this is a point. It meets with the small intestine, the sanjiao, and the stomach. So these are all things about assimilation. The sanjiao is all about the energy through your whole torso, from the top to the middle to the bottom, to keep that flow going, to help prevent that stagnation that can happen in there. It's also going to help alleviate pain. And shockingly enough, it also affects the heart. Heart and stomach, right? We feel good when we eat. We feel good when we've digested our surroundings. We feel good when we're comfortable and we're able to assimilate and integrate what is happening, whether it be food or experiences. Okay? This is also the origin of post-heaven chi. So post-heaven chi is the energy, we have pre-heaven and post-heaven. Post-heaven is what we access after we are born, and it's what helps keep our energy going. So we're given a certain amount of pre-heaven chi, pre-heaven energy, right, from our parents, and then we have to make up the rest. So this is why it's so important to also ingest good food, healthy food, as close as you can to the original source, because those are the most vibrant and the most alive. And the stomach plays a role in transforming this energy. So by having a healthy stomach and having a healthy integration system, we actually help with this energy outside. Okay. Now we're going to go into the immunity. Okay. Stomach 36. This one I'm going to draw because if not, then it could be on the table. So this one's on your leg. So we're going to go to your lower leg. I'm just trying to figure out that's on that side. So this is going to be, you're getting my good pictures. The foot's going to be backwards. Let's try this. Is that better? So you're going to run your finger all the way up. So if you touch the front of your leg, right at the front, you have the bone, right? Your shin bone. You're going to run your hand all the way up your shin bone. You press kind of firm, and then you're going to feel this like a little lump. So you're running all the way up, and then you feel this little lump. And when you hit that lump, you go boop, and you go off to the side of your lump. So literally, so up your shin till you hit the bump, and then you move off to the right-hand side. I say right-hand side because I'm talking about my right leg. So you're going to go to the outside of that point, okay? That is stomach 36. Stomach 36, Suzanne Lee, which is called leg 3 miles. It means you can keep going. There's actually scientific evidence about this point, which I absolutely love. It increases your white blood cell count. It's proven scientifically. So the reason why I love this is because there's so many people out there, and if you Wikipedia acupuncture, you'll see that they're like, nope, it's bogus, it's a sham. Well, there's scientific evidence that acupuncture actually works. So stomach 36, white blood cell count, that's increasing your immunity, okay? It's also gonna harmonize your stomach again. It's gonna fortify your spleen. So the spleen and the stomach work together to remove the nutrients from the food and to help you integrate everything. It's gonna support your original chi, which we talked about. So that's the energy that you get from your parents. And it's supporting it because you're not having to draw from that, because you're creating your own energy. So you're not having to go from that energy store that you have. You're not taking from the battery, okay? The battery is not gonna be depleted. It's also gonna nourish your blood and your yin. So yin is nourishing, is mother energy, is nurturing, is moistening, is calming, it's moon energy. It really brings you in, really makes you feel comforted, right? Calms your spirit as well, and it revives your yang and your consciousness. So when you feel that depletion, palpate this point. This is a point I highly suggest putting the seed on. The seed with tape, this is 100% one of those points. Leave that on there and see, okay? Yeah, and this is something we don't do here, but I have a note. In China, way back when they first started, so this is like the Zhang dynasty, they basically declared that this is the point to treat all disease. But they used to burn it with moxa. So moxibustion is it's a plant, and they burn it, mugwort, and they burn it on top of the skin. Here in Canada, we burn it down until you feel the heat, and then we take it off. But then they would actually burn it down until it created a scar, until it actually festered. And they would keep it doing that with moxa. And that would actually stimulate the body to make more white blood cells. Not recommending you do this at home. Just saying. But this is what they used to do. You can understand why we don't do that in North America. Too many lawsuits. Okay. If you have any questions of those, please let me know. Spleen 6. Okay, so we're talking about the mind now. So once again, here we are. We're talking about some points that aren't even on the head, but they're going to affect the mind. So spleen 6 is San Yin Jiao. So this is the 3 Yin intersection. So I'm going to draw you another leg. Let's see how it goes this time. So this one. So this one we're on the inside. So this is the big toe, if you can't tell. So we're on the inside. So you have your medial malleolus. So feel around your ankle, and you're going to feel that bump right on your ankle on the inside. That's your medial malleolus. And then what you're going to do is you're going to place your hand, whatever way is comfortable. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to place your hand just above the medial malleolus, and you're going to feel that little point. So it's literally right on the inside. So if you take your leg and you just cross it up onto your one foot, up onto your other knee, you find the medial malleolus and you stick your hand right there. And you're like, okay, 4 fingers up from that bump, and it's right behind. So it's between the muscle and the bone. Spleen 6, this is another point I highly suggest putting the seed on, the seed and tape, because this is a point that we use all the time. Do not use this point if you're pregnant, please. This is not a point that you want to be stimulating. This is one if you are in labor, great point. Not in labor, let's avoid it. This one's also going to harmonize your liver. So we're keep talking about all these organs. What are we talking about all these organs? They're just organs, right? Our liver is just in there. It's helping process things and helping with the bile. No, in Chinese medicine, we're also looking at the energetics. So the liver helps move everything in the body. So you know those days where you're just like, oh, I can't do anything. And everything is just frustrating. The wind frustrates you and you just have this aggravation. And then you organize your sock drawer and you're just like, oh, it's much better. It's because you've moved that liver chi. The liver also helps make blood, which is soothing and nourishing and is full of iron. And the more blood you have in your body, well, you don't want excess. But when you're at that optimum level, you feel grounded because of the iron that's actually in your blood. Right? So this is going to calm your spirit because you're not feeling. If you've ever been blood deficient or anemic, you know that when you don't have this grounding in you, it's hard to think. You feel a bit dizzy. Everything's kind of spaced out. This is the same, okay? So this is going to help you sleep. The more nourished you are, the more grounded you are, the easier it is to sleep, the less your mind goes crazy. Okay. Well, this is my next favorite point. I call this one the unicorn horn. And we're going to talk about yin tong, which you probably know. So that's your third eye point. Many people get that when they go to acupuncture. And then we're going to talk about the unicorn horn, which is right here. That feels so good. It's actually kind of tender too. So I find people either like this one or they like this one. Some people just find this one annoying. And then other people, they find this one, they're just like, I don't even know what that's doing for me. So this is called Shen Ting, which is the courtyard of the spirit. So we're affecting the spirit. And that's what I love is the names talk about what they're actually helping within the body. So you literally just go to your hairline and you go back like half a finger width to a finger width, and you'll feel a little hollow. You'll know when you've hit it. And I just love this point. This calms me right down. I just love this point. This one's all about that mania. This is about calming your spirit. When you just feel like, well, what do I do next? And you're over here and you're over there and you're doing this and you're just like, I don't know where to settle. This is the point. Yin Tong, we call Hall of Impression. That's one's right here, third eye. So not only does it open up your vision into all the other realms, but it's also calming your Shen. So we talked about Shen. Shen is related to the heart. At night, it goes back to sleep in the heart. That's where it goes. So we want to calm the Shen down so that when it goes in, it's not like this whirlwind of crazy happening. Calm it down, settle it into the heart. Okay. 2 more. I like these ones too. These ones we can actually activate. I'll show you, but we can activate them without even putting pressure on them. But we're going to talk about them first. So the first one is Ren 4. I'm going to have to. Okay, so these ones, we're going to our lower abdomen, so we're going down here, okay? So this one's, we got our belly button. Okay, so this line right here is your pubic symphysis. What's your pubic symphysis? I know, right? So your pubic symphysis is the top of the bone, your pelvic bone. Okay, so we're going to talk about Ren 4 and Ren 6. So Ren 4, so you're going to find between your pelvic bone and your belly button, you find the midpoint, and then you go down like a finger breadth or so, not too far. This is going to be your Ren 4. The other one, you're literally going here, so finding the midpoint between your belly button and your pubic symphysis and going up. And it's in that area. Basically, when you're finding these points, the reason why I'm like, it's in this area is because there's not math. It's not like, even if I'm putting a pin in you, even if you're sitting on my table and I'm like, okay, here we go, spleen 6. I'm not going in and putting my hand there and being like, this is the point, this is only the point, because everybody is different. And that's what is also so beautiful about this medicine. Your body is different than mine, is different than anybody's you pass on the street. So your point might be to the right a little bit, or to the left a little bit, or up or down, might be deeper, it might be shallower. And that's what we talk about intuition with these points and how they feel for you. So Ren 4 is Guanyan. This is the gate of origin. What is that? Love it. So this is the front move of the small intestine. So the small intestine is all about assimilation. Physically, it's about assimilation. We draw out the nutrients from our food here, but it's also about assimilation of what we're digesting, which is our environment and our situation and our experiences. This is also where you increase your original chi. So we talked about this is your battery pack, right? You're going to help increase that and benefit your essence and your core self. This is where you treat, tonify, and nourish your kidney. So kidney is all about the depth of your healing, right? It's all about that space of your pre-heaven essence, so what you got from your mother and father. It's that awe space. It's that depth of space. I always think of it as the deep spirit space. Awe space is that place where you go for a run and all of a sudden you get all these ideas because you hit this point. I'm not saying I go for runs, but most people relate to that. So, but when you get, or like if I'm painting and all of a sudden it's just like, it's kind of vacuous and just like, oh, and it's amazing. That's the awe space, and that's what the kidney is like to me. Okay, it's going to help you keep up your energy. And again, it's going to nourish your yin and it's going to nourish your blood. And what did we talk about? Yin and blood are all about cozy, comforting, grounding, earthy, right? Help us feel centered and, I don't want to say in control, but it's okay to be out of control sometimes, but it's helping you feel like you have a choice, is what this is going to do. So Ren 6, which is Chi Hai, which is the sea of Chi. Chi, energy, your vibrancy, it's all on this point, right? This is, again, going to help promote your original chi, tonify your chi, your kidneys again, strengthen the yang. And this is the one that's literally, so belly button to the top of your pelvic bone. You're going to find the middle point, and you're going to go up about a finger breadth, okay, about 1 finger width. This is also called the dantian. This is where the deepest energy is stored and generated. So if you do qigong, if you do tai chi, this is what you're accessing when you're here. Okay. So how do we access these 2 points? It's so calming, it's so beautiful. So one, I would first activate this point and stimulate the heck out of it. Then the other one is you just get in a comfortable stance. So feet shoulder width apart, and you just place your hands. So I'm not even touching my physical body. I'm out, see, just a little bit. So when you're out just a little bit, you can actually feel this current running between your hands and your body. And you just activate these 2 points. And so I'm between here and here. So this is my belly button, this is the top of my pivot bone. And you're just right here, and you're just activating that point. And visualize the light, the current, the everything going into this space, the energy, the joy. Get yourself in the happiest state you can get in and just feed it to this point. And feel the energy current shifting and moving. It's a lot, yeah? I think, are we posting the lives after? Yeah. So there was a lot in here. And I know there was a lot in here. Because these points, and this is me trying to pick however many points we talked about, 8 points, because there's so many to activate on the body. This will be posted afterwards, so please totally rewatch this. If you have any questions, my contact information will be posted with the little event thing. I'm also still holding space for people. I know this time is crazy and also beautiful, because this is the time for us to pivot. Right? This is the time for us to pivot and really figure out, what do I want now? So I'm still holding space. I hold distant sessions with basically every single thing that I do. I obviously just can't put physical pins in you right now, but pretty soon that is coming again. But everything else, so my contact information will be there if you have any questions. Also, if you're just like, you talked about this one point, can you just explain it to me again? I'm totally here for you for that as well. Okay. Oh, also, important, all my sessions right now are sliding scale. So quite reduced, and I'm doing that because I feel the healing is important right now for people. So it's my Healing for Humanity rate, and it's quite a reduced rate. So for example, my 90-minute is only 55 to 95, and you pay what you can, no questions asked, just so I can hold space and help you figure out what's the next steps for you, right? Get you energetically aligned and feeling the most vibrant that you can. Okay, that was a lot. I always get so excited doing these. They are going to be continuing to do these, and I'm super excited for these. They're going to be continuing to do these is it every week? Yeah, so every week. So next week, there's one on managing grief and anxiety with Carrie Morat. Not quite sure what time yet. They're still figuring that out, but keep an eye out on here on Facebook and on the website. Yeah. So I'm looking off at Julie. And I know it's like, oh, what am I looking at? Julie's right over here. So yeah, keep tuned. There's some awesome people coming on and sharing what they know so that we can all stay connected in the community space. So thanks for joining me. So much love and stardust to you, and I'm sure I will see you around.